it's not actually going to be part of it until I start the intro. So, uh, but Jerraud said he sent you the topics that I was gonna discuss. Are those topics that I was wanting to discuss with you cool?
Yeah. That's pretty on point. So
All right, all
I'm
right,
ready.
okay,
Not
cool.
that I it's like whatever you can ask me, whatever. I'm gonna answer whatever.
That's always good to hear, man. I know it's a little different asking questions when you're, employed with a team than when you're, retired and can say whatever the hell it is you want to say, you know.
I never bit my tongue about a whole lot of things. So
For
yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
it's different, interesting dynamic right now.
absolutely, absolutely. All right, let me get into. If we're all ready, let me get the intro started in three, two, one.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cassidy, one of your Indianapolis Colts cheerleaders, and you're watching the Bleav in Colts podcast.
Welcome back to another edition of Bleav in Colts. With me, as usual, is my guy Jerraud Powers, and this episode, in place of Rodney McLeod, we have a very, very special guest, former Indianapolis Colts pass rusher, former NFL sack leader, Robert Mathis. Robert, how are you doing, my guy? Appreciate you being on the show today.
I'm blessed. I'm doing awesome. I appreciate you guys having me on.
All right.
Man, I appreciate you coming, man. I know your time's valuable, so we're just gonna jump right in it, man. We're in the off season. Everybody know the type of season we coming off of. Feel like we got some needs that's out there that we need to get. In your opinion, what do you think the Colts need first and foremost to get this thing back to where it needs to be?
Man, the engine to every vehicle in the NFL is a quarterback. It starts and stops there. No QB, no chance. Uh, there's a lot of good options. A lot of good options, especially at the number 4 spot where we're slated to draft. So it definitely starts at quarterback, and then coming on down, you need a edge rusher, left tackle. Well, left tackle number 2, edge rusher, and another big time receiver. So we
Oh,
got needs, a lot of them.
absolutely. You're talking about edge rushers. A lot of my questions are going to be focused a lot on that. We got a couple guys that are slated as free agents this year. One of them is Taekwon Lewis. He's had a problem with injuries. Obviously, he's tore his ACL, different knees, different years, last 2 years. But when on the field, he's been pretty darn productive. What are your thoughts about Indianapolis? Should they re-sign him and bring him back, or should they look elsewhere?
Absolutely, he's not going to cost a lot. And matter of fact, I love Taquan. I love what he brings. He's ultra reliable, and what you see is what you get because you know what you're going to get with him. Uh, yeah, he's like I said, he's not going to cost a lot. Bring him back, and he picks up on the scheme, and he has a high football IQ. So those are that's an intangible that you really can't measure. So once he gets healthy, he's going to give them exactly what they expect. So I would definitely resign him, but you also need a big time edge guy opposite
Hmm.
Quiddy.
Absolutely.
Hey, so just getting away from, I guess, the team a little bit. In your honest opinion, I would put you on the Mount Rushmore when it come to pass rushers and some of the guys that I would say QBs feared every week when they know that they see your name as an opponent. So in today's game, since you've been around it since you retired, obviously everybody knows your resume and what you accomplished. How has today's pass rushes changed from your time when you played and the era of pass rushers that you came up in?
Man, it's a little tougher nowadays because these soft ass quarterback rules that they got in place, man. You can't even breathe. You can't even hurt. You can't even say nothing to the quarterback without getting a flag, which is and it was crazy. But I think the Chiefs lost to the Colts off a call at the end of the game where Chris Jones said something to Matt Ryan, and he got a unsportsmanlike. So that was just like, what the hell did he say to get a flag? But then you got the strike zone. Then you have the runner protection. Then you have the referees. Then you have don't forget the 5 bodyguards that they have assigned to them that they get paid millions of dollars to stop. So it's a lot of rules in place to keep the quarterback, I guess, healthy and upright. So that's a job in itself to get to the quarterback, then to get to him, and just be productive in today's game with 17 games.
Right.
So I think what we did in the early 2000s, we kind of opened the door for the style of rushers that we have today. The more emphasis on quick athleticism. But these guys today, they have a tough job with all the rules in place. Even DBs, not to get sidetracked, you can't cut big, tall ass offensive tackles coming down out in the flats, man. That's ridiculous to me. So that was my old man rant for like 30 seconds. So.
Well, we might be building off that rant because I'm going to build off that question a little bit, discussing those sack rules and the referees. Do you feel like the referees, that with the rules that they have in place, that the NFL has given too much power to the referees to dictate how a game goes?
I don't think it's changed much. I think the referees are just kind of imposing their will. And I think it does come from the amount of leash that the NFL gives them to protect these quarterbacks. It's almost tough to watch. It's tough to watch. And I hate being the guy that is always bitching about what's going on in the current NFL, but I am that old guy that's doing a lot of bitching because it's tough to watch. I can watch maybe a quarter before I'm on to something else because of some kind of flag that they thrown, and which is some BS, and now I'm going off the rails. Twitter, I'm on Twitter typing. I'm just going off the rails, man. But these guys, they got their job cut out for them in today's game, and I salute them, man.
Hey, man. So your skill set, your style of rushing, like you said, I think you was kind of before your time. I think your style of rushing and your skill set, your size in today's game, that's what everybody's looking for, like you said. I mean, you cut on the combine, you see these outside pass rushers now running the 4.5s, running the 4.4s, and I remember you and Freeney used to argue about who was faster and stuff of that nature. So I do think you guys was before your time, and you played in a 4-3 system to where you was pretty much undersized in a system your entire career. If you played in today's, out of the 30 sacks that you had in your career, if you came in today's game with the same longevity that you had, what you think your career would look like now? Even though you got a Hall of Fame career, what do you think it looked like in today's game? Hey, be honest now. Don't hold your tongue.
man, with the yeah. It'll probably be in the 150s, 160s, and then you have the added game. And then remind you, a lot of people don't take into effect that we was humming in the 2000s, and near the end of the season, we kind of shut it down. We didn't play a lot of those games, or people don't really take that into consideration. So I know Dwight and myself would definitely eat in this generation. Definitely eat. Just like the moves that they do, we was doing this stuff in the early 2000s. We was doing this in early 2000s, but now all of a sudden it's new. I guess with this ghost technique, man, we was doing that in 2003, 2004. Like the hand-to-hand combat, a lot of this stuff. I mean, it's you don't reinvent the wheel, but you just claim that you invented it. So there's nothing new under the sun. So I definitely think we would eat and eat good. Eat greedy in this generation. So, but like I said, salute to these guys. Get your money, and then they get the money too. So that's another thing.
Yep. Getting back to the Indianapolis Colts and their pass rush on this past offseason, Yannick Ngakoue had 9.5 sacks on the season last year under Gus Bradley. They brought back Gus Bradley. Remember, Yannick missed the last few games due to being on IR. And I'm just curious, with him being a free agent, you talked about you need another edge rusher opposite pay. Do you bring back Yannick, or are you looking elsewhere in maybe free agency or the draft?
I'm looking at how does he fit with the unit. So
Mm.
I don't, like I said, I haven't been in that building in like 2 or 3 years, so I don't know the dynamics of what's going on. But you got Buckner, you got Quiddy, and you got Yanni. 9 sacks is 9 sacks, so you cannot sneeze at that. So, but you also have he's also a guy that's been kind of 4 teams in 4 years, like 5 teams in 4 years. So there's something going on with that. Even though he has the production, there's something going on with that because you do not let pass rushers out the building. So that's one question that I have. If that can be answered, then that will give you the answer that you need. But the fact that he's a free agent, that he's not being hurried to be signed, that tells me a lot. So I definitely would like a stud guy opposite Quiddy, and that's just to develop him as well because that youngster got a lot of tools, and he needs to come see me. Hopefully, he can get this message. You need to come see me, Quiddy, and sky's the limit for him, DeForest, and my favorite D lineman, Grover Stewart.
He had a good year. Nah, he had a good year. Hey
Mhm.
man, you spent 14 years with the Colts, and I know what the Colts mean to you. Ring of honor. A lot of your experiences, a lot of helping you come through a lot of the stuff that you went through, coming from Zone 6, back in East Side of Atlanta, and Huntsville at A&M. What does the Colts truly mean to you, and what have they done for you for these 14 years of your NFL career, and with you being able to stay with one team your whole career because that's unheard of as well.
Well, this is what it means to me. I had a house built in Atlanta to retire, to live happily ever after. I put it on the market to sell because I wanted to stay in Indianapolis. That's what the coach and the city and the state means to me. So I gave up my Georgia boy aspirations the rest of my life to be a Hoosier, whatever the hell a Hoosier is. So uh, just being like for what the team and everybody here has done for me, just embrace me, and to be able to be to start and finish my career in one spot, and they gave me the option to do that, and so that means a lot. And also, I just want to pass on whatever the things that I learned from the organization on off the field. I want to pass that along in the Indiana community.
You talked about the pass rush for the Indianapolis Colts being a top three need this offseason in the draft. Now, obviously, I don't think the Colts are going to spend their first round pick on a pass rusher, but say in the later rounds, second through seven is an option. Are there any diamonds out there that you feel like the Indianapolis Colts should get a look at and possibly, they may surprise some people coming out of college this draft?
There was I had an agent reach out to me about training this guy, and I took a look at him. I said, man, he got it, but I don't think he's getting some first round looks. But Andre Carter out of Army, I think
Mm.
Army, he's a guy, he got it, but right now he can't put on a lot of weight or whatever because of military stipulations. But I think he can be a really good sleeper, even though when I say a first, second rounder, that's not a sleeper, but a guy that has the caliber to be picked in the top 5. But
Hey,
because of situations, he wasn't.
and you mentioned you got agents reaching out to you to train. Talk about the Gridiron Gang and the importance it means to pass down the knowledge and the skills that you know to help some of these guys that might be coming up in the NFL that's already drafted, or guys that got aspirations of getting to the NFL. Because I know you work with high school guys as well, a bunch of college guys. Just talk about the importance of giving back, and especially coming from a future Hall of Famer like yourself, that it means to the community and what you do with Gridiron Gang.
Well, Gridiron Gang, our motto is skill, not scheme. So we want to teach people enough football, give them enough skill to play in any scheme, and that's on and off the field. Teaching, giving them the game, because I noticed when I retired, the only thing that I missed about football was the locker room,
Yep.
and and it's like, bro, you got to do something. You just can't stop and just rest on your laurels once you retire because you're so used to being on the clock. You're so used to doing something at different times of the year, and then now you just got to teach it. If you can't do it, you got to teach it. And so that's good enough for us. Myself and Dan Muir, we started this in 2018.
Big
Um,
Dan.
and this really teaching them. We have three pillars is that we want to get across to them: social media etiquette, dining etiquette, and financial literacy. These are three things that are pretty important especially in today's athlete. I remember coming in the NFL, my dining, just simple as dining etiquette, knowing a damn salad fork from a steak fork, and how people look at that. Like teams, you can go on a business dinner, people look at your etiquette, how you carry yourself, and those are little things, especially social media. Do not tweet something at age 15 that you're going to regret
Yep.
and pay for at age 25.
Yep.
Just teaching them the importance of foresight, and especially, goes without saying, financial literacy. Uh, you give a lot of these athletes, they come from humble beginnings. You go to college, do your thing, and now you're an instant millionaire, and you don't know what to do with this money.
Right.
Besides spend it, and see these rappers and see these other guys wearing crazy ass clothes pre-game and stuff like that, and spending your money on that type of stuff versus saving and tucking away, buying land, stuff like that. And then, fast forward, we just pour into our people, like our student athletes, and just teaching them things that we wished we had known at that time, at that particular time in their life, and they pick up on it. And so we have, like I said, high school guys, college guys, and NFL guys. They all training side by side, because we also have the Latini boppers, which is like third and stuff like that. But they don't know who I am. So the third graders watch the high schoolers. The high schoolers watch the college
Right.
watch the NFL guys, and the NFL guys remember us when we played. So it's a trickle down effect, which it works really good for us. Really, really good for us. So definitely proud of what we're doing, and we have uh, like upwards of 300 clients now, and it's looking to get into the thousands. And that's a big announcement in Indiana that is not ready to be released yet. So
Gotcha. That's
we
what's
coming
up.
for the number one spot.
That's what's up.
Yeah. My next question is just kind of an easygoing question that I usually ask just about any Colts player, former or current, that come on the show. But I'm going to make it a two-parter. The first part is, what is your favorite go-to comfort food?
Woo. Go to. That means I can get it anywhere. Chicken wings, wings. Being from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's the wing capital of the world. Yeah, I said it. Wings and fries with ranch and some half lemon pepper, and half honey barbecue. So
All right. And the second part of that question is, now that you're, permanently here in Indy, I'm just curious, for guys that are coming in, visiting, new guys coming from out of state. I'm sure you know where all the good restaurants are. What is your favorite restaurant in the town that you would suggest to other people?
oh, my favorite. Well, you got to start and stop with, because Indianapolis is known for steakhouses, and my favorite is Tony's. It's downtown. But I remember my days when Rock, he remembered those Thursday night dinners. We used to kind of
Pick it. Yep.
bounce around. We go to different spots, man. So you got Ruth Chris, you got St. Elmo's, you got Tony's, you got Sullivan's, you got all these
Yeah.
different restaurants. Each one brings a different flavor, but just a vibe, and just like I said, going back to that locker room dynamic, and just just enjoying each other's company, man. Talking about things outside of football, life. Saying, how you doing, man? What you think about this? What you think about that? And if anybody need to get checked, that's the time to check them.
Hey, that's what I was gonna say before we get off, man. Like Rob really meant a lot in my career and get me started. I was blessed to get drafted in '09 with a bunch of just great veterans like himself, Reggie Wayne, Free, Twan, Gary Brackett, Peyton, that whole crew, Dallas Clark. And just to watch how them guys went to work every day, like it helped me have a long, my longevity that I had in my NFL career, because what I learned from these guys within the first year of being with them, it carried on with me for a long time. Because when Rob mentioned them Thursday night, it was leadership dinner. I remember the first year, my rookie year, I used to hate on them all the time. Like, man, y'all always going, restaurants, man. I consider myself a leader, but they used to make me have to earn my stripes. And by the time I got to my second, third year, I forget what year it was, they started inviting me to the dinners. It did really make me feel like, one of them guys. So man, I really contribute my success to Rob and that whole group. Before you get off, Rob, though, because I know you like to talk. You like to talk your talk. Best two, the top two hardest offensive tackles that you had to face in your entire career. Like somebody that I would say, you might get them one game, the next game they might get you type thing. Like you give them their respect, and you knew what you was up against every time you played them.
Man, that's a very easy question. Right tackle, Willie Anderson. Started with the Bengals, and then he played with the Ravens.
Wore down.
Yeah, and then left tackle, Walter Jones, Seattle Seahawks. He's actually from Huntsville.
That's what I was saying. He's from the crib too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so these are the two guys, right side, left side. You got to bring your lunch pail. This is they're not going to let you do what you want to do, so you got to go in the bag of tricks a little bit. So those are the two guys that kind of gave Dwight and myself issues. So we had to really kind of dig in the crates a little bit just to have a successful day against those guys.
So Jerraud talks about how you and a bunch of other guys on the team, when he was drafted and brought in, kind of mentored him into being a professional NFL player. I'm curious, when you came into the league, was there a guy like that kind of took you in and you learned from a little bit to make you the man that you are?
Yeah, defensive end Chad Braskey. He was very key to. He gave me a lot of advice and instrumental in the off the field. Even like stuff like don't buy a cheap mattress. It sounds simple yet it's profound. It's like that's your rest. How important is rest?
Mm-hmm.
And he told me those things. But you have other guys. Well, it's not Dwight and Raheem because we came in we're a year apart, so we kind of grew up together. But other guys was kind of like, hold on, who's these little young Thundercats coming in here? So we didn't get a whole lot of good advice, sound advice from them. But I would say Chad Braskey was one that really gave us really, really good advice. Tarek Glenn, Jeff Saturday as well. So, and of course, I used to watch Marvin Harrison, how professional he was, because I think he should trademark this. It's like, look, they pay me for Monday through Saturday. Sundays are for free. And that taught you, like, look, the importance of practice and preparation and just being a professional. And now we got a little term that we say gridiron game, being a technician about your technique. And that came from me watching Marvin Harrison, then watching how Reggie Wayne do it. Then you got Peyton and Jeff and all these professional guys. And Dwight, me and him just having that silent competition, but at the same time we each other's biggest cheerleader. It was a lot of room for success, and there was no room for bullshitting when it comes to that locker room. So I really appreciated my time there. I learned a lot, and I just look forward to paying it forward.
Man,
Awesome.
them dudes, Lawrence, him and Rob, my rookie year. This will be my last little quick story. We'll let you go. So I had two little moments with Rob and Free during the course of a game. So I come in, drafted third round. Larry Coyer was our defensive coordinator. Rest in peace, Larry. He just passed, I want to say about a month ago or so. And Larry's giving me a hard time as a rookie. I'm talking about I couldn't even walk straight without him critiquing me, just being on me. And but I didn't know how it worked, to where it's just like, man, if a coach is on you, like that means he really likes you, or whatever the case may be. So I end up becoming a starter and all that. And I remember it was a certain play that I wanted Dwight Freeney to kind of crash down, because he had me on the outside for help now because of the certain formation. And I remember I patted him on the butt to get him to move down. He literally, right before the snap, stood up, looked at me, and said, "Do not ever touch me
Uh,
a day again in your life. You play off of me." So I'm basically out there just playing off of him. Fast forward, it may be like 2 or 3 games later, same similar situation with Rob. It's a third down play. I'm still trying to figure out these two guys on how they are mentally. Third down, I know that's their money down, so it's third down play. I'm trying to get him to crash down. Boy looked at me and gave me one of them looks. Rob got this intimidating, look and stare about him until you crack that mode, and then he the goofiest one in the room. He gave me a look to it was almost like, boy, if you mess up one of my sacks out here, I will kill you personally. So like it was fun playing with guys like that, man, because you know what you was gonna get. It made my job a lot easier as a DB, so I only had to cover for about 2.5 seconds.
Oh, I forgot about that, man.
Yeah, man. But I appreciate you, man. Really appreciate you coming on and being with us on the show, man. I'm gonna definitely hit you up for another episode down the road.
Right on. Appreciate y'all having me, man.
Absolutely. Well, this will be it for Bleav in Colts edition with myself, Jerraud Powers, and special guest Robert Mathis, brought to you by Bet Online. And until next time, as usual, go Colts.
Do you Bleav?